Liquid text. 1. Erratic. Liable to sudden unpredictable change. 2. Flounder. Move clumsily or struggle to move, as in mud or water. 3. Enervate. Weaken physically, mentally, or morally. 4. Stem. Stop the flow of a liquid. 5. Hedge. A fence formed by a row of closely planted shrubs or bushes. 6. Qualify. Prove capable or fit, meet requirements. 7. Glaze over. Become glassy, lose clear vision. 8. Involved. Connected by participation or association or use. 9. Moment. An indefinitely short time. 10. Soirée. A party of people assembled in the evening. 11. Expansive. Able or tending to extend in one or more directions. 12. Hullabaloo. Disturbance usually in protest. 13. Base. Lowest support of a structure. 14. Crumb. Small piece of e.g. bread or cake. 15. Gallop. A fast gait of a horse. 16. Wacky. Ludicrous, foolish. 17. Arch. Naughtily or annoyingly playful. 18. Tender. Easy to cut or chew. 19. Becoming. According with custom or propriety. 20. Telling. Disclosing unintentionally. 21. Wax. Increase, rise, or advance. 22. Dodge. Make a sudden movement in a new direction so as to avoid. 23. Artifice. The use of deception or trickery. 24. Kowtow. Bend the knees and bow in a servile manner. 25. Powwow. A council of or with Native Americans. 26. Imbroglio. An intricate and confusing interpersonal situation. 27. Embroil. Force into some kind of situation or course of action. 28. Bob. Move up and down repeatedly. 29. Melee. A noisy riotous fight. 30. Lagniappe. A small gift given by a merchant to a customer. 31. Picayune. Small and of little importance. 32. Chauvinist. An extreme bellicose nationalist. 33. Kafkaesque. Having a surreal, nightmarish, and oppressive quality. 34. Maudlin. Very sentimental or emotional. 35. Aplomb. Great coolness and composure under strain. 36. Preternatural. Existing outside of or not in accordance with nature. 37. Jingoist. An extreme bellicose nationalist. 38. Mercurial. Liable to sudden unpredictable change. 39. Lascivious. Driven by lust. 40. Malfeasance. Wrongful conduct by a public official. 41. Underwrite. Protect by insurance. 42. Defray. Bear the expenses of. 43. Untoward. Contrary to your interests or welfare. 44. Graft. Offering something to gain an illicit advantage. 45. Fizzle out. End weakly. 46. Veritable. Being truly so-called, real or genuine. 47. Doppelganger. A ghostly double that haunts its living counterpart. 48. Poltergeist. A ghost that creates disorder and noise. 49. Kaput. Destroyed or completely broken. 50. Salvo. Rapid simultaneous discharge of firearms. 51. Literal. The region of the shore of a lake or sea or ocean. 52. Junket. Go on a pleasure trip. 53. Obstreperous. Noisily and stubbornly defiant. 54. Slight. Pay no attention to, disrespect. 55. Deprecate. Cause to seem or feel unimportant, belittle. 56. Phlegmatic. Showing little emotion. 57. Feckless. Generally incompetent and ineffectual. 58. Palindrome. A word or phrase that reads the same backward as forward. 59. Portmanteau. A new word formed by combining two others. 60. Barbarism. A brutal barbarous savage act. 61. Tautology. Useless repetition. 62. Turgid. Abnormally swollen especially by fluids or gas. 63. Sesquipedalian. A very long word. 64. Fussy. Overcrowded or cluttered with detail. 65. Collegial. Having authority vested equally among colleagues. 66. Indiscreet. Lacking discretion, injudicious. 67. Brusque. Rudely abrupt or blunt in speech or manner. 68. Currency. General acceptance or use. 69. Virtuoso. Having or revealing supreme mastery or skill. 70. Mulish. Unreasonably stubborn or rigid. 71. Waspish. Very irritable. 72. Crow. Brag openly or dwell on with satisfaction. 73. Ape. Mimic, especially in an absurd way or for comic effect. 74. Bovine. Dull and slow-moving and stolid. 75. Vulpine. Resembling or characteristic of a fox. 76. Priggish. Exaggeratedly or self-righteously proper. 77. Simian. An ape or monkey. 78. Flail. Beat hard or give a thrashing to. 79. Ursine. Of or relating to or similar to bears. 80. Asinine. Devoid of intelligence. 81. Ingratiate. Gain favor with somebody by deliberate efforts. 82. Cloying. Overly sweet. 83. Mawkish. Very sentimental or emotional. 84. Libel. The written statement of a plaintiff explaining defamation. 85. Traduce. Speak unfavorably about. 86. Tort. A wrongdoing for which an action for damages may be brought. 87. Horripilation. Reflex erection of hairs of the skin in response to cold or emotional stress or skin. Irritation. 88. Subjugate. Make subservient, forced to submit or subdue. 89. Tribulation. An annoying or frustrating or catastrophic event. 90. Quibble. A minor objection evading the point of an argument. 91. Persnickety. Characterized by excessive attention to trivial details. 92. Riposte. A quick reply to a question or remark. 93. Lush. Characterized by extravagance and profusion. 94. Immemorial. Long past. 95. Interminable. Tiresomely long, seemingly without end. 96. Fitful. Intermittently stopping and starting. 97. Intermittent. Stopping and starting at irregular intervals. 98. Incessant. Uninterrupted in time and indefinitely long continuing. 99. Desultory. Marked by lack of definite plan, purpose, or enthusiasm. 100. Bustle. Move or cause to move energetically or busily. 101. Dispatch. The act of sending off something. 102. Cataclysmic. Severely destructive. 103. Usurp. Seize and take control without authority. 104. Appropriate. Take possession of by force. 105. Pliant. Capable of being bent or flexed or twisted without breaking. 106. Irreproachable. Free of guilt, not subject to blame. 107. Turpitude. A corrupt or depraved or degenerate act or practice. 108. Imperious. Having or showing arrogant superiority. 109. Deferential. Showing courteous regard for people's feelings. 110. Ponderous. Labored and dull. 111. Chutzpah. Unbelievable gall, insolence, audacity. 112. Klutz. Someone who is clumsy. 113. Nebbish. A timid, unfortunate simpleton. 114. Schmaltzy. Very sentimental or emotional. 115. Kibitz. Make unwanted and intrusive comments. 116. Shtick. A contrived and often used bit of business that a performer uses to steal. Attention. 117. Kvetch. Express complaints, displeasure, or unhappiness. 118. Penultimate. Next to the last. 119. Nonpareil. Eminent beyond or above comparison. 120. Irrefutable. Impossible to deny or disprove. 121. Ascendant. Most powerful or important or influential. 122. Rampant. Occurring or increasing in an unrestrained way. 123. Rife. Excessively abundant. 124. Adjure. Ask for or request earnestly. 125. Stymie. Hinder or prevent the progress or accomplishment of. 126. Armistice. A state of peace agreed to between opponents. 127. Entente. An informal alliance between countries. 128. Maraud. Raid and rove in search of plunder. 129. Lambaste. Censure severely or angrily. 130. Sully. Charge falsely or with malicious intent. 131. Vitiate. Corrupt morally or by intemperance or sensuality. September 26. 132. Platitude. A trite or obvious remark. 133. Bromide. A trite or obvious remark. 134. Aphorism. A short, pithy, instructive saying. 135. Maxim. A saying that is widely accepted on its own merits. 136. Self-deprecating. Conscious of your own shortcomings. 137. Self-effacing. Reluctant to draw attention to yourself. 138. Mar. Destroy or injure severely. 139. Imp. One who is playfully mischievous. 140. Nub. A small lump or protuberance. 141. Char. Burn slightly and superficially so as to affect color. 142. Pith. The choicest or most vital part of some idea or experience. 143. Carp. Raise trivial objections. 144. Moil. Be agitated. 145. Curt. Speaking in a terse, rude, or abrupt way. 146. Crux. The most important point. 147. Disenchantment. Freedom from false belief or illusions. 148. Unprepossessing. Creating an unfavorable or neutral first impression. 149. Furor. A sudden outburst, as of protest. 150. Détente. The easing of tensions or strained relations. 151. Ado. A great deal of fuss, concern, or commotion. 152. Fiasco. A complete failure or collapse. 153. Nudge. Push against gently. 154. Goad. Provoke as by constant criticism. 155. Blandishment. Flattery intended to persuade. 156. Equanimity. Steadiness of mind under stress. 157. Presumptuous. Going beyond what is appropriate, permitted, or courteous. 158. Presumption. Audacious behavior that you have no right to. 159. Posit. Take as a given, assume as a postulate or axiom. 160. Disgruntled. In a state of sulky dissatisfaction. 161. Peeve. Cause to be annoyed, irritated, or resentful. Yes, Your Highness, I understand that you are peeved about that, the assassination of Brangwain Spurge. 162. Pique. Cause to feel resentment or indignation. 163. Plucky. Showing courage. 164. Redoubtable. Worthy of respect or honor. In October, the redoubtable Professor Matthews was called as our final witness. Long walk to freedom. 165. Edict. A formal or authoritative proclamation. They cowered before him as he shouted out a new edict, Redwall. 166. Fiat. A legally binding command or decision. Finally, Compton settled the argument by fiat. The pile would move to Chicago big. Science. 167. Rescind. Cancel officially. I think that's the first thing you do is you rescind your support for Trump, which he did. Salon. 168. Niche. A small concavity. It was carved into a profusion of curlicues and niches which made the climb considerably easier. Redwall. 169. Bailiwick. One's particular area of interest or branch of knowledge. None of the other masters do that sort of thing, so it must be your bailiwick. The name of the wind. 170. Malady. Impairment of normal physiological function. Some childhood malady had made all his hair fall out. A dance with dragons. 171. Malice. The desire to see others suffer. He kept staring at them, though without malice. Native speaker. 172. Maleficent. Harmful or evil in intent or effect. Perhaps something good will come of Mr. Trump's missions to the Maleficent. Washington Post. 173. Eugenics. The promotion of controlled breeding in human populations. Muller also realized that his experiment had broad implications for human eugenics. The gene. 174. Eudaimonic. Producing happiness and well-being. In France, the atmosphere is emphatically eudaimonic. Happiness is the goal. Barry. 175. Circumlocution. An indirect way of expressing something. She was weary of repetitions, weary of circumlocutions, weary of everything. Robot. 176. Circumambulate. Walk around something. 177. Diurnal. Having a daily cycle or occurring every day. 178. Diadem. An ornamental jeweled headdress signifying sovereignty. 179. Diapason. Either of the two main stops on a pipe organ. 180. Diachronic. Used of the study of a phenomenon as it changes through time. 181. Epistolary. Written in the form of letters or correspondence. 182. Epithet. Descriptive word or phrase. In fact, he seldom cursed, and the epithets he chose were dull, even harmless. 183. Epigram. A witty saying. Often, if a topic is trending, he turns it into an epigram. 184. Epigraph. A quotation at the beginning of some piece of writing. Which is why the epigraph of this book is the quatrain from the famous Christmas carol. 185. Excommunicate. Formally oust or exclude from a group. She was excommunicated from the church and left disgraced and impoverished. 186. Exact. Take as an undesirable consequence of some state of affairs. 187. Expatriate. Expel from a country. 188. Expedient. Serving to promote your interest. A lot of people I have met in the Democratic Party are extremely expedient, he said. 189. Expend. Use up or consume fully. He kicked his legs steadily, trying not to expend too much energy, but they both knew it was probably futile. 190. Expeditious. Marked by speed and efficiency. It has been found practically more expeditious to make 2 series of operations in 24 hours. 191. Explicate. Elaborate, as of theories and hypotheses. 192. Exploit. A notable achievement. His next exploit was to fight and conquer the minions, who had been exacting a burdensome tribute from the Thebans' mythology, timeless tales of gods and heroes. 193. Expostulate. Reason with for the purpose of dissuasion. 194. Extort. Obtain by coercion or intimidation. 195. Expository. Serving to expound or set forth. 196. Exult. Feel extreme happiness or elation. 197. Imbue. Fill or soak totally. 198. Impel. Cause to move forward with force. 199. Impoverished. Poor enough to need help from others. 200. Impuissant. Lacking physical strength or vigor. 201. Incipient. Only partly in existence, imperfectly formed. 202. Inconsolable. Sad beyond comforting. 203. Incorrigible. Impervious to correction by punishment. 204. Infallible. Incapable of failure or error. 205. Ineffable. Too sacred to be uttered. A seductive presence, he has that ineffable quality of stardom, a preternatural ability to connect. New York Times. 206. Inequity. Injustice by virtue of not conforming with standards. 207. Iniquity. Absence of moral or spiritual values. 208. Incapacitate. Injure permanently. 209. Intersperse. Place between or among. 210. Intercede. Act between parties with a view to reconciling differences. 211. Interdict. Command against. 212. Interject. Speak abruptly, especially as an interruption. 213. Interloper. Someone who intrudes on the privacy or property of another. 214. Internecine. Characterized by bloodshed and carnage for both sides. The internecine conflict is an open discussion on Air Washington Post. 215. Subterranean. Being or operating under the surface of the earth. 216. Subservient. Compliant and obedient to authority. 217. Empathy. Understanding and entering into another's feelings. 218. Sociopath. A person with an antisocial personality disorder. 219. Fractious. Easily irritated or annoyed. 220. Bellow. Make a loud noise, as of an animal. 221. Belle. A young woman considered charming and beautiful. 222. Casus belli. An event used to justify starting a war. 223. Reconnoiter. Explore, often with a goal of finding something or somebody. 224. Minatory. Threatening or foreshadowing evil or tragic developments. 225. Apothecary. A retail shop where medicine and other articles are sold. 226. Apoplectic. Marked by extreme anger. 227. Apotheosis. The elevation of a person as to the status of a god. 228. Apologist. A person who argues to defend some policy or institution. 229. Manumit. Free from slavery or servitude. 230. Pantomime. Act out without words but with gestures and bodily movements. 231. Panoply. A complete and impressive array. 232. Pantheist. Someone who believes that God and the universe are the same. 233. Paradigm. A standard or typical example. 234. Paroxysm. A sudden uncontrollable attack. 235. Paralegal. A person with specialized training who assists lawyers. 236. Parapet. A low wall along the edge of a roof or balcony. 237. Peripatetic. Traveling especially on foot. 238. Paraphrastic. Roundabout and unnecessarily wordy. 239. Nondescript. Lacking distinct or individual characteristics. 240. Conscript. Enroll into service compulsorily. 241. Descry. Catch sight of. 242. Transpose. Exchange positions without a change in value. 243. Transmogrify. Change completely the nature or appearance of. 244. Transgress. Commit a sin, violate a law of God or a moral law. 245. Protracted. Relatively long in duration. 246. Punctilio. A fine point of etiquette or petty formality. 247. Punctuate. Insert marks to clarify meaning. 248. Perquisite. An incidental benefit for certain types of employment. 249. Prerequisite. Something that is needed or obligatory in advance. 250. Inquisition. A severe interrogation. 251. Acquisition. Something gained. 252. Prerogative. A right reserved exclusively by a person or group. 253. Supererogatory. More than is needed, desired, or required. 254. Rogue. A deceitful and unreliable scoundrel. 255. Derogate. Cause to seem less serious, play down. 256. Segue. Changing smoothly from one state or situation to another. 257. Appendectomy. Surgical removal of the vermiform appendix. 258. Synecdoche. Using part of something to refer to the whole thing. 259. Aficionado. A serious devotee of some activity, genre, or performer. 260. Abut. Lie adjacent to another or share a boundary. 261. Awry. Turned or twisted to one side. 262. Acolyte. A devoted follower or assistant. 263. Aphasia. Inability to use language because of a brain lesion. 264. Cite. Make reference to. 265. Unsolicited. Not asked for. 266. Confluence. A place where things merge or flow together. 267. Conflate. Mix together different elements. 268. Convoke. Call together. 269. Conclave. A confidential or secret meeting. 270. Condone. Excuse, overlook, or make allowances for. 271. Congeal. Solidify, thicken, or come together. 272. Contumacious. Willfully obstinate, stubbornly disobedient. 273. Denude. Make bare or strip of a covering. 274. Debunk. Expose while ridiculing. 275. Decadent. Marked by excessive self-indulgence and moral decay. 276. Detritus. Loose material that is worn away from rocks. 277. Denouement. The outcome of a complex sequence of events. 278. Enjoin. Give instructions to or direct somebody to do something. 279. Ensue. Take place or happen afterward or as a result. 280. Entourage. The group following and attending to some important person. 281. Engorge. Overeat or eat immodestly, make a pig of oneself. 282. Unencumbered. Not burdened with cares or responsibilities. 283. Enclave. An enclosed territory that is culturally distinct. 284. Enormity. The quality of extreme wickedness. I looked at the map of Siberia, shocked by its enormity, between shades of gray. 285. Evocative. Serving to bring to mind. 286. Emolument. Compensation received by virtue of holding an office. 287. Factoid. Unverified information given credibility through repetition. 288. Artifact. A man-made object. 289. Pontificate. Talk in a dogmatic and pompous manner. The captain stands behind me at the helm and pontificates to his congregation of 1. Challenger deep. 290. Fortification. The act of increasing the strength of something. 291. Edifice. A structure that has a roof and walls. 292. Ratification. Making something valid by formally confirming it. 293. Edification. Uplifting enlightenment. 294. Genealogy. The study or investigation of ancestry and family history. 295. Endogenous. Derived or originating internally. 296. Regress. Go back to a previous state. 297. Ingress. The act of entering. 298. Egress. The act or means of going out. 299. Topography. precise detailed study of the surface features of a region. 300. Exigent. Excessively demanding, requiring more than is reasonable. 301. Compendious. Briefly giving the gist of something. 302. Regalia. Especially fine or decorative clothing. 303. Regent. Member of a governing board. 304. Regnant. Exercising power or authority. 305. Adulate. Flatter in an obsequious manner. 306. Agrarian. Relating to rural matters. 307. Ailment. An often persistent bodily disorder or disease. 308. Banter. Converse in a playful or teasing way. 309. Bedlam. A state of extreme confusion and disorder. 310. Betrothed. Pledged to be married. 311. Clamber. Climb awkwardly, as if by scrambling. 312. Catatonic. Characterized by unresponsiveness or lack of movement. 313. Carouse. Engage in boisterous, drunken merrymaking. 314. Commiserate. Feel or express sympathy or compassion. 315. Deign. Do something that one considers to be below one's dignity. 316. Dismay. Fill with apprehension or alarm. 317. Dilapidated. In a state of decay, ruin, or deterioration. 318. Endow. Furnish with a capital fund. It's not like the Lord saw fit to endow me with huge bosoms like he did. Catherine, dread nation. 319. Finagle. Achieve something by means of trickery or devious methods. 320. Foist. Insert surreptitiously or without warrant. 321. Fritter. Spend frivolously and unwisely. 322. Feral. Wild and menacing. 323. Germane. Relevant and appropriate. 324. Gentrification. Change in poorer areas due to an influx of wealthier people. 325. Gripe. Complain. 326. Glom. Take by theft. 327. Grovel. Show submission or fear. 328. Hallow. Render holy by means of religious rites. 329. Hirsute. Having or covered with hair. 330. Hairy. Annoy continually or chronically. 331. Impervious. Not admitting of passage or capable of being affected. 332. Impetus. A force that makes something happen. 333. Livid. Furiously angry. 334. Languorous. Lacking spirit or liveliness. 335. Lull. Make calm or still. 336. Lumber. Move heavily or clumsily. 337. Noisome. Offensively malodorous. 338. Nary. Colloquial for nada or not one or never a. 339. Natter. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. 340, natty. Marked by up-to-dateness in dress and manners. 341, opine. Expect, believe, or suppose. 342, oeuvre. The total output of a writer or artist. 343, ornery. Having a difficult and contrary disposition. 344, onerous. Burdensome or difficult to endure. 345, peddle. Sell or offer for sale from place to place. 346, pander. Yield to, give satisfaction to. 347, pilfer. Make off with belongings of others. 348, quizzical. Perplexed. 349, ramshackle. In poor or broken down condition. 350, stark. Completely. 351, spurn. Reject with contempt. 352, specious. Deceptively pleasing. 353, travesty. A comedy characterized by broad satire. 354, triage. Sorting and allocating aid on the basis of need. 355, titillate. Excite pleasurably or erotically. 356, unctuous. Containing an unusual amount of grease or oil. The undertaker answered his questions in an oily, unctuous voice. The heart is a lonely hunter. 357, unassuming. Not arrogant. 358, utilitarian. Someone who believes that the useful is the good. 359, vacuous. Devoid of intelligence. 360, vouch. Give personal assurance, guarantee. 361, litigious. Of or relating to legal proceedings. 362, impertinent. Improperly forward or bold. 363, stoop. Debase oneself morally. 364, precept. A doctrine that is taught. 365, Elysian. Relating to the abode of the blessed after death. 366, flush. Rinse, clean, or empty with a liquid. 367, blithe. Carefree and happy and light-hearted. Beneath its blithe humor, it, too, is a bleak vision of mismatched lives and misguided mores. The New Yorker. 368, dour. Stubbornly unyielding. 369, briny. Slightly salty. 370, toothsome. Extremely pleasing to the sense of taste. 371, ennui. The feeling of being bored by something tedious. 372, blackball. Expel from a community or group. 373, blue. Morally rigorous and strict. 374, outlandish. Noticeably or extremely unconventional or unusual. 375, chimera. A grotesque product of the imagination. 376, empyrean. Of or relating to the sky or heavens. 377, numinous. Of or relating to or characteristic of a spirit. 378, subterfuge. Something intended to misrepresent the nature of an activity. 379. Legerdemain. An illusory feat. 380. Maven. One who is very skilled in or knowledgeable about a field. 381. Greenhorn. An awkward and inexperienced youth. 382. Barnstorm. Tour the country making political speeches, giving lectures, or presenting plays. 383. Arrogate. Seize and take control without authority. 384. Apparatchik. A communist who was a member of the administrative system of a communist party. 385. Quell. Suppress or crush completely. 386. Seditious. Arousing to action or rebellion. 387. Subversive. In opposition to an established system or government. 388. Epiphany. An inspiration or divine manifestation. 389. Pestilence. Any epidemic disease with a high death rate. 390. Leviathan. The largest or most massive thing of its kind. 391. Rye. Bent to one side. 392. Uproarious. Uncontrollably noisy. 393. Dirge. A song or hymn of mourning as a memorial to a dead person. 394. Disconsolate. Sad beyond comforting, incapable of being soothed. 395. Illustrious. Widely known and esteemed. 396. Snub. Reject outright and bluntly. 397. Cipher. A secret method of writing. 398. Insubordinate. Not submissive to authority.